tell me that I should remove the head. So when I removed the head, I gave him the knife. It was the one that separated the remaining one.
Officers of the Osun State Police Command arrested a man identified as Rashid Ajibade after he was found in possession of fresh human parts. He was immediately linked to the gruesome killing of an event planner named Ireti Adeola parts that he claimed were meant to be used for multiple rituals on behalf of one Afa Olorun Bebe. What the police discovered afterwards shocked the entire state and exposed a deep, organized and spiritually driven human ritual network that had been operating quietly in Osun for years. According to police investigators, the men of the Osun State Police Command swung into action immediately after Ajibade's arrest. Their investigation led them straight to Isiaka Akonde, popularly known as Afa Olorun Bebe. Both Ajibade and Akonde confessed they explained how they severed the body part of their victim and how they had been working together for a long time. The suspects were not just ordinary criminals. They specialized in luring and kidnapping their victims, both men and women, especially for ritual purposes. So, according to police interrogations, Afa Olorun Bebe had a pattern. He would kidnap women, as many as he wanted. He held them captive using what he described as voodoo powers. And according to the rescued victims, he slept with them anytime he liked. When it was time to perform money rituals or when a client approached him, he would simply tell them to pay because he already had human beings available for sacrifice. He didn't need to look for victims at that point. They were already chained in his custody. One day, Afa Olorun Bebe decided he wanted a particular woman. An event planner named Ireti Adeola. Report said he had always admired her, even had a crush on her, but Ireti never wanted a relationship with this Afa. This rejection angered him. It was like he gets anyone he wanted. Why would this woman reject his offer, like his proposal? I don't really understand, but relationship is not by force. I mean, we should allow anyone to decide who to date. But in this kind of world we are right now, you know, when somebody have obtained power or he has something strong that he relies back on, you see that person start misbehaving. You won't believe what Olorun Bebe planned. He planned a deadly mission with Rashid. Rashid went to Ireti's shop around the Borukpe area and pretended that he wanted her to plan a marriage ceremony for him. He told her he wanted her to follow him to check the venue capacity so that she could prepare a proper quotations. Ireti, who had no idea what was being planned, went with him happily. She believed she had secured a big contract. She believed it was an opportunity. Honestly, this is what everyone would believe. She didn't know she was being led to her death. On getting to the supposed venue, it turned out to be Afa Olorun Bebe's deadly den, the place where they carried out all their ritual activities. That place really looked so horror and so scary. Rashid told her to sit and wait for him. Then he went straight inside to inform Afa that Ireti had arrived. Meanwhile, Ireti was asked to wait in one of the apartments, neatly furnished. No one would ever suspect anything wrong like this or ritual activities is going on in that environment because of the room, how neat it was. So back to our story. Afa quickly picked up his machete and went to where she was sitting. When Ireti saw him, she was shocked, but before she could understand what was happening, the Afa brought out his machete and threatened to kill her if she refused to cooperate. He directed her into a room and warned her not to make any sound. He told her that if she attempted anything, she would be killed and nobody would ever know her whereabouts. Faced with death, Ireti cooperated. According to their confession, Afa forced her to pull her clothes. Yes, he forced her to pull her clothes, he mocked her, then he and Rashid slept with her.
Ajibade cut the head and severed the private part while I cut the palm. I know I have sinned against God and I ask for forgiveness. A visit to Akande's Agba country home in Borikwe local government area of Osun State brought out more revelations. They were in chains and kept in this filthy environment where they are obviously dehumanized.
After that, they took her to join the other captives, some chained for weeks, some for months. Ireti was also chained, left with only her underwear. Days later, she was killed for ritual. During their confession, the two suspects explained how the body was mutilated. Ajibade cut the head and severed the private part. Olorungbebe cut the palm. Afa said during the confession that he knew he had sinned against God and begged for forgiveness. A visit by authorities to Akande's country home in Agba, located in Borikwe local government area of Osun State, revealed even more horrifying discoveries. The agency uncovered the building where the suspect lived. Victims were kept, rituals were performed. At least 12 victims were rescued from the building. They were evacuated immediately, but one was not lucky. She had already been killed for rituals, and Ireti was among them. The victims were kept in chains inside a filthy room. They were starved, physically abused, and completely dehumanized. One of the rescued victims was found to be carrying Akande's baby. Reports also indicated that the one killed earlier was Ireti, and she was pregnant for him as well. Afa Akande even showed police officers where Ireti's body was cut open, mutilated, and buried. The level of brutality shocked even experienced investigators. After the rescue, police handed over the surviving victims to the Osun State government for rehabilitation. The government announced that 8 victims would be fully treated. They would receive psychological rehabilitation. They would be integrated back into society. That is, if they actually, implement all what they have said. Their families would be contacted and reunited with them. Authorities explained that they first needed to determine which of the victims were mentally stable and which were not, because many had undergone severe trauma, starvation, sexual violence, and psychological manipulation by their father. During a briefing, authorities stressed that the families and communities of these victims must commit to providing proper, humane, and orthodox care. They warned strongly against religious exploitation, spiritual manipulation, and inhuman practices done in the name of prayers of rituals. The government emphasized that victims in distress should never be handed over to so-called spiritual healers who use them as tools. The case of Rashid Ajibade and Afa Olorungbebe stand as one of the most disturbing ritual-related crimes uncovered in Osun State in recent years. A network built on deception, fear, voodoo, and exploitation. A system where human beings were used as commodities, and at the center of it all stood innocent victims, including Ireti Adeola, who only followed a client for work, hoping to build a business but never returned home. The investigation continues. More accomplices may still be out there, and security agencies say the full weight of the law would be applied.
The relations of this kind of people in this type of distress should seek for orthodox means of taking care of their relations, instead of subjecting them to the kind of inhuman treatment that they are exposed to in the hands of these terrible human beings.